Hi, good morning all. All of you, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. So, shall we start our session? In the last session, what we discussing? So, installation of the Django. We done, guys. Installation of Django. So, Django is a software or module. Django is a software or module. It is a one of the Python module, third-party module. So, we need to download and we need to install. If you want to install Django, then what command is required to installing the Django? So we required what? Pip command. We required pip command. So pip stands for what? Python package installer. Python package installer. This is the pip command abbreviation. So where this pip is there? When it is coming into our local system. So after installing the Python, guys. After installing the Python, after install Python, we are getting, guys, these all things already I told. That's why for you points I'm giving. Okay, na? So remember that one. After install Python, then pip command is coming. Then pip added, into our system, or else our software location, into our software location. Yeah. So using this pip, you are going to be installing the third-party modules, guys. How do you install? Open your command prompt. Then you are going to use pip install. Pip install required module name. Pip install required module name. So this is the syntax, guys. So now I want to install what? Django. So pip install Django. You're going to write. So if you are using this one, what is happening? Pip command is communicated to web location, searching for required module, finding the latest version and downloading that one and installing that one. Okay, na? So latest version downloading finally and installing. Guys, all people getting voice low. Priyanka, are you getting voice clear? Means getting voice clear.
Yeah, I have no issue.
Yeah. Somebody is asking, very low voice is coming like that. Yes, my side full voice is there. I don't know. In all batches, no one is telling like that. Yeah. So I'm installing the Django framework. So like this, pip install Django. Pip install Django. Okay. Now next, if you want to get any required version, guys, if you want to get any one required version, then so Django double equal to version number you are going to use. Whatever the version you want, you can use that one. Then so our pip command is searching for required version, searching for required version, finding that required version and downloading that version, guys, and downloading that version and installing also. So after installing, this is available in the Python software location only. Okay. So yeah, guys, now after installing this Django, one file is coming. What is the file name? So Django file name is Django admin, Django admin.py. This file is coming, guys, into our local system, Django admin.py. Okay. Yeah. So using this file, we are going to create a Django project. We are going to create Django project. Okay, na? Yeah. Now here, guys, sometimes asking people to creating the Django project, what file is required? So Django -admin file is required to create the Django project. We are telling. So now you are going to open the command prompt, guys. You are going to open the command prompt up to where you want to select location. That location you can select here. So now you are going to create the projects. You are going to create the projects. So if you want to create the project, what is the command? I told the last session. So Django-admin, Django-admin, followed by start project, followed by start project, and followed by whatever the project you want, you can take it. So demo project I'm taking, guys. Okay, na? So this is my statement to creating the Django project. To creating the Django project. Okay, after creating the Django project, okay, so this folder is coming, guys. This folder is coming here. This folder is coming. So which is acting like a one root folder, which is acting like a one root folder. Inside this folder, one manage.py you are getting, guys. One manage.py file you are getting. So now onwards, this file is responsible. Now onwards, this file is responsible to creating the Django application, to running the servers, to creating the tables, to creating the users. These all things later sessions you are going to get. So this file is responsible to maintaining all our project. Only this is responsible to create the Django project. The point remember. Okay, now next. Here same folder you are getting, which is actually our project. In this project you are going to get the 4 files, guys. Simply I'm not writing all the files, just 4 files you are going to get. 4 files you are going to get. Okay, so later I want to create the application name, guys. I want to create the application name. So if you want to create the application, first of all you need to travel into your location, guys. Okay, now you need to travel into, or else change the directory into your demo project location. So right now my location is there here, command prompt. I need to change directory into this demo project. How do you change? Using the cd command, change directory into the demo project. Okay, now my cursor is changing to the demo project, guys. My cursor is changing to the demo project. Now here you are going to create our application. Here we are going to create our application. So to create the application, we are going to use Python followed by manage.py. Python manage.py space start app, guys. Start app. Yeah, start app followed by application name, followed by application name. This is the command, guys. Python manage.py start app followed by app name. Okay, na? So now after executing this command, so in this folder right now you are in this folder, guys. Okay, means nothing but this one. So in this folder parallel to this manage.py and demo project, you are going to get one folder which name is our demo app application name. Okay, so like this you are going to get, guys. Now inside this one folder you are going to get one folder you are getting migrations, and the next 6 files you are going to get, guys. Python files. So this is the structure, guys. Project structure, project structure. So what files there here and what files there here, so we are going to discussing slowly now. So clear all of you this one? These all things in the last session I told, guys. These all in the last session I told. Okay, yeah. So here, guys, whenever you are going to installing this pip install Django module, first of all in your system you need to open the command prompt, and you need to check here what version of Python you are using, like these all things. So simply I need to use here pip install like this, guys. So if you want to work like this, pip install command here, pip install command. So first of all in your system here, pip is Python is working or not, can see here like this. So click here. So some people not getting like this after typing the Python. This is not getting Python prompt, not getting, means Python environment variables, people are not adding. People are not adding the environment variables. So control Z, you are coming to back. So if not adding this one properly means Python is not recognized as an internal or external command, like some error coming. So we need to add these all environment variables properly, guys. Properly. So if you want the add the Python path, so first of all, where our Python software is there, you need to go there and select the interpreter and select the pip location. So where our Python software installing, guys? Generally in the C drive. In the C drive, your users. Okay. So depending on your interest, guys, different location you can create. So in my system, Python 2.7 is there, 3.9 is there, 3.7 is there. Depending on requirement, I'm using the versions based on my projects related. Okay. Now 3.7 we are using, guys, regularly here. So inside the users, so my system name is ThinkPad. In your system, maybe your name is there. Okay. So select that one, and here one app data folder is there, guys. App data folder. So this is by default a hidden folder, means not showing. Hidden folder. If you want to enable, then here click on the view, guys. Can see here. Click on this view, guys, first, and then here hidden item checkbox is there. Select this hidden item checkbox. Whenever we are selecting that one, then only it is going to be enabling. Otherwise, if I'm unselect this one, then this is going to be hiding. Remember that one. So some people are thinking like us. In my system, app data folder not coming like that. Previously, a lot of people asked me. So if you want to see, you need to select this and then you need to select this. Remember that point. Okay, go to the app data. Inside this, local is there. Inside this, programs there. Somewhere programs there, guys. Programs there. So this one. And you are going to select these programs. So inside these programs, guys, now here Python is there. Python is there. Inside this Python, Python 3.7, whatever the version you are installing, that is there. So go to there. Okay. Now this location, guys, this location is our main Python software location. In this location, our Python interpreter is there. Our Python interpreter is there. This is our interpreter, guys. Python is executing with interpreter. Python exe file, executable file, this one. Where this is there, you need to give that location here. So copy this one and paste into environment variables. Paste into the environment variables. And also in this location only, guys, we have one script folder. We have one script folder. Go inside that script folder, and now again copy one more time this location. One more time this location. Why this location means, in this location our pip command is there. This location you are telling pip is available in this so and so location. So if you are not adding this line, guys, if you are not adding this line, so after opening the command prompt, every time you need to travel this location. You need to open your command prompt up to this location, guys. Now here you are going to use pip install required module. Pip install required module name. So every time to open like this, C user, username, app data, local programs, Python like this, getting some problem, irritation, time wasting. Okay, na? That's why after opening the command prompt, immediately I want to type pip command. So if you want to do like that, then you need to add this environment in the environment variable section. Clear this one? So remember these two things, as a Python developer, our primary responsibility. So copy this one, guys, and now we are going to paste somewhere. So here our computer is there, PC. So right click on our PC, guys. Right click on our PC. So click on properties. Click on properties and advanced system settings. Advanced system settings, and click on environment variables. Click on environment variables. Now here path is there, guys. In the user variables or in the system variables, anywhere you can write, that is your ways. Okay. So in the path section, guys, in the path section, so here I given all two things here. So this is for pip command location, where my pip is there, you are telling, and where my interpreter is there, Python exe file. Python exe file means executable file. This is we are calling interpreter. Interpreter. Okay. So these two were available. These locations we are giving us. Then successfully by using the command from top after opening the command from, we can use Python or else pip command, whatever you want. Otherwise, every time we need to open up to here to execute the pip command, to use the pip command. Clear these 2 points, all of you? Environment variable setup. So this is the best coding practice, guys. We need to set all the environment variables. So when we are developing the big applications, so many times, a number of times, we are going to use the command prompt. We are going to use the command prompt to executing the commands or to installing the third-party modules like that. So remember that one. Again, we are going to close all the things. Yeah. So I added in my system Python environment variable. That's why I got it like this. So no problem. Now here onwards, I can execute all my command. I can execute all my command. Yes, same like that one. Java, .NET, any languages, guys. All the softwares, we need to add path like this. But nowadays, so when we are installing the latest version softwares, so automatically path adding. So that is one of the benefit to the developers. Okay. So in the last session, somewhere in the D drive, we selected one batch for our folder. So what is that one? I think this one, online new 7 a.m. Django batch. This is we selected, guys, in the last session. So select that one, and here demo project we created in the last session, demo project. Okay. So this is my location, guys. This is my location. So simply you are selecting like this command, up to that location is coming, up to that location is coming. Now here you are going to create all your projects, application name, project name, all things. So guys, don't worry. Again and again, I'm telling same commands like that. So why I'm telling again same commands means, so we are in the starting stage, and if you are understanding these all commands perfectly, regularly we are using same commands, then easily you are going to understanding. Okay. So later, whenever we are discussing the new commands, we are focusing on only those commands, not in every project, how creating application like that. Coming days, we are going to use some real-time IDs. Real-time IDs there, guys. IDs there. Lot of IDs there. So what are IDs there, and what we are going to use, we will discuss. Okay. So using the IDs, if we are developing, if you want to developing your project and application name, so then this all commands, guys. Django -admin start project, Python manual.py start app, like these all commands we are not going to use. Just what is your project name, what is your application name you are going to use. Then automatically backend side, all these command executing, all these commands executing. So sometimes we are going to create using the command prompt only. Then we need to have knowledge using these all commands. That's why I'm telling here again and again. If you are using the different IDs, guys, PyCharm, if you are using, automatically creating by itself. If you are using Sublime Text, then every time we need to create command only. Using the command prompt only, we need to create. Using the Sublime Text, we are going to developing the applications. That is all depending on IDEs. Depending on IDEs. Okay. So ID, you are using one ID, I am using one ID, other person using another ID. So IDs are not same for all the people, but command prompt is same for all the people. That's why first responsibility is you need to have knowledge using the command prompt, how creating project name and application name, how running the server, how creating the tables, how creating the users, like that. Okay, na? Yes, guys. Okay, so now in this location, my project is there. What is that project name? Well, that project name, demo project. So cd demo project you're getting guys. In this location my manage.py file is there. In this location my manage.py file is there. Okay, so I want to run the server, python manage.py and then run server. If you want a different port number you can use by default 8000 is executing guys. 8000 executing. So by default Django is running with one server, that is with this port number, so copy this one and open your browser, paste here guys, paste here. Okay, so now you are going to get this one, the install worked successfully, congratulations. Means my server is running right now. Later I will add the coding, in my program. Then different presentation, login presentation, logout presentation, a home page, contact page, service page, like that, whatever you want you can get it. Create form, update form, delete form, like that. Okay now? Yeah. So now here interview persons are asking some questions guys. So far we are having Django admin.py file and also manage.py file also guys. So about these two things you need to have knowledge. So when this Django admin file guys, when this Django admin file is coming into your system guys, when it is coming after install after installing Django module, am I right? After installing the Django module, then this Django admin.py file is coming into the our software location. Clear guys? Yes sir. So when it is coming, when this manage.py file is coming into your system, after creating the Django project, in your project location, this is available, this is coming simply. Okay, so next Django admin.py file. So this file is responsible to creating the project, responsible to create Django project guys. This file is responsible to create the Django project. Next manage.py file is responsible for what purpose? Manage.py file guys. So manage.py file is responsible to create application, Django application, simply application. By using the manage.py we are going to create the application name. Project is different, application is different guys. One project can containing n number of applications. Okay, so I'll tell, wait some time. Okay, next so where Django admin is available guys, where available that one? So Django is all for knowledge purpose only. Django admin.py file available in Python software location guys. Available in Python software location, this is the thing. Okay, available in Python software location. In the Python software we have one script folder, inside that Django admin.py is there. Clear this one? So available in so and so location, Python software location. Now where this manage.py file is available guys, where this manage.py file available, where available? Inside our available inside our base or root project. Okay, base or root folder project, simply available inside our project location. Okay na? Available inside our project location. So this is our project, guys. This is our project in this location available. So actually this one is our application name, this one is our project name, and this is our manage.py. So this is we are calling what a root folder, base folder. This is the actual project. For this project, this is a, like a folder, root folder. Clear so far these all points? Okay, so using the how we are creating Django project using the Django-admin, how creating the application using the manage.py. So when this Django-admin coming after installing the Django module, which is downloading and available inside the so and so Python location. When it is coming manage.py means after creating the Django project, then manage.py file is coming and which is available in the inside the project location. So guys, these points so looks like silly points, but sometimes asking you need to have the knowledge. You need to have the knowledge. So majorly these points, you need to have knowledge. Okay. Yeah. So now comes to our location. So here one new file you are seeing, guys. One new file you are seeing here. What is this one? SQLite 3. SQLite 3. This is by default not coming, guys. This is by default not coming after 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 running the server. Already we executed server, guys. Okay, after running the server of our project, our Django project related server, whenever we are running, then in the base folder location, means these all are in the base folder available. Demo app, demo project, manage.py, all are available in the one base folder location, demo project. Okay, so in the base folder location, one db.sqlite3 file also downloaded. This is nothing but database, guys. SQLite3 database. I told you starting features. So Django by default comes with one default database which name is SQLite3. SQLite3. No need of downloading as a separately and no need of installing by yourself next like that. So this SQLite3 database is automatically coming inside our project location. Inside our project location. Now this project related all data we can store inside this database only. Clear this point? So when SQLite3 file is coming, are you going to installing separately? People are asking. Okay na? So you need to tell after creating application name, project name, whenever we are running the server, then this SQLite3 file is automatically downloaded inside our base folder location. Inside our base folder location. So db.sqlite3 SQLite3. This is a database file, guys. Default Django database name. Database file simply. So which is available, which is coming after running the server. After running the server, then added inside after running the server, then added inside base project location. Okay na guys, all of you following these all points are basic knowledge, guys. Okay, so now so far these all things are enough. After creating Django project name and application name, some files you are getting, guys. Some files you are getting. We need to discuss about these all files. So first of all, Django following what architecture we will discuss. Then about the files also we will discuss. No need to set, guys. This default database related, no need to set yourself. By default to Django coming with settings. Default database SQLite3 related automatically settings there in the Django. Okay, if you want to use any other databases, then we need to add those databases related settings, and those databases we need to download also. For example, here 4 files there. Out of these 4 files, one is settings there, guys. Settings file is there. Settings.py. So this settings.py file is maintaining all our project related database settings, server settings, and the media file settings, static files settings, like this. What are the applications are there for this project? Like n number of things, guys. So all maintaining in this settings.py file, project related all executable settings available in this settings.py file. Okay, so here only we are having urls.py. Our project related all urls we are maintaining inside this urls.py. Login url, logout url, home url, contact url, like this, and number of urls for updating one url, for deleting one url, for creating one url. All urls we are going to maintaining inside the url.py. Okay, like all the files we are going to be separating as first I'll tell about the architecture, then we'll discuss about these all the files. Okay, so here one file like underscore init file is there, guys. What is the use of this file? What you are understanding by seeing this file? This file indicating what in Python? In Python, all people are getting about this one. This file representing what? Now this is a folder or package. This is a folder or package. Demo project is a folder or it is a Python package. So folder or directory, guys, both are same. Okay, so when we are calling a folder is a Python package, when we are calling a folder is a Python package, means the folder which is containing one file which name is underscore init underscore dot py. Simply we are calling initialization file, or else init file we are calling init file. Okay, so in which folder init file is there or else initialization file is there, then that folder we can call as a Python package. We can call as Python package. Clear, guys, this one? So in the Python modules concept, the packages concept you are getting, there you are getting about this one, init file. So coming days after installing the Django, when we are going to developing the programmatically, I will show you in every folder this init file is there. Means this is a Python package, just representing like that. Okay, so remember, guys. Now Django follows what architecture? So Django follows what architecture means MVT architecture, guys. Now we are going to discuss about this one. So Django follows MVT architecture, where M stands for models, where M stands for models, guys. So models are used for database logics purpose. By using the models, we are going to handling the all the database logics. What database we are using, what tables we are going to create. In every table, what columns there. For example, employee table, employee number, employee name, salary, address, like some fields I want to take it. If it is a student table, student number, name, marks, school name, teacher's name, like that I want to take it up. Okay, na? So not presentations are here. Using the models, database logics we are writing, backend code, database related coding we are writing here inside the models. Whenever we are creating the Django project name and application name, we are going to get models.py, guys. Inside our application, we are going to get the models.py automatically. So in that file, we are going to write all databases related logics we are writing. Okay, so next views we are writing, guys. So using the views, V stands for views. V stands for views. Using the views, what we are doing means, so business logics we are going to write, guys. Business logics of our application. For example, whenever I'm going to do registration, so username, password, email, all fields data you are entering using the presentation. So in the business side, backend code side, I need to accept all users sending data, and I need to store in some variables. I need to create like one object, and that object I need to store into the database. Okay, so this business logic interacted with the presentation code, interacted with the database code to store the why interacted with the presentation means taking the data from the users registration data, and why interacted with the database means so to store all this registration data into the database permanent manner purpose, to store the permanently this data purpose, we are communicated with DB. So these all logics we are writing inside the business. Which database I want to communicate? I want to communicate Oracle or MySQL or MongoDB. Like these all things we are writing inside this business code, guys. Okay. So inside this views code we are writing inside this views.py. We are getting one file which name is views.py, guys. Inside that views.py, our project related all business logics, what you want to perform, all things you are going to write. Clear this one? Okay, next. T stands for templates. T stands for templates, which is maintaining the presentation logics, guys. Which is maintaining the presentation logics. So models.py Python file, guys. Views.py Python file, but not templates.py. Templates is a folder. Templates is a folder. This folder maintaining all presentation related logics. HTMLs maintaining. In this templates folder, all HTMLs there, login.html, register.html, home.html, contact.html, like that. All HTMLs of our application is maintaining in this templates folder. So that's why this is maintaining simply presentation logics. Clear, guys? So I told previously, whenever you are going to developing any application, all applications required three layer structure. So one is front end layer, front end layer. So for example here, presentation I want to developing presentation code I want to develop. Where you are going to develop? Inside the templates folder you are going to developing. That is the process. And now I want to developing the business code, guys. Business code means all our project logics. So where we are developing inside the views.py file. Okay, next I want to write the all that which database I want to use, which tables I want to create, like that. So all database logics I want, right? For this we are going to use what? Models.py. Models.py. Clear, guys? So that is MVT architecture, guys. M and V and T. MVT architecture. These three are main major files, guys. Later remaining all files are interconnected depending on the situation. Clear this one about the architecture? So Django, guys, whenever you are attending the interview, so first question 100% damn sure. What is that one means? So tell me about yourself, your introduction, your experience introduction or fresher introduction, whatever you are putting in your resume, that is you are going to tell. Next question. So if you are a Django developer, then so Django follows what architecture? Can you explain about architecture? Can you explain about the architecture? People are asking us so many times asking. If you are attending the 50 interviews means almost 30 interviews you are going to get 30 40 interviews you are getting this question. So why people are asking this question means first of all, do you know about the flow structure or not? Some people are putting experience. So people knows or not working flow, execution flow, development flow. These all things people are analyzing what you are saying, like that. Clear this one? So here, guys, templates maintaining all HTML file, guys. Templates maintaining all HTML files. So in Django we are not calling home.html, login HTML, like that. Login template, home template, register template. So technically we are calling the templates, guys, here. Templates. Okay. So in our code template is there or not, like that, asking people. So template means HTML, remember, don't get confusing. Clear, guys? So once after learning these three concepts, and then we are going to developing with the front end, back end, and the database related full complete applications. Okay, so in our sessions, some days we are going to discuss about this one, some days we are going to discuss about this one. Again, some after learning these two things, we will combine these two things some days, and later some days this is we are going to discuss. Now only these two things we are combining some days. After that, all together we are combining. Like this sections wise we are going, guys. Starting onwards, we are not designing all together templates, we business code and the database code all together we are not designing starting onwards. I means a lot of rules and regulations there. So according to procedure we need to go all the concepts. Once if you are following all the procedure, then easily you are going to be developing yourself all the coding. Clear, guys? Yes. So next, some other languages, guys. Some other languages related frameworks like Java related frameworks, .NET related frameworks. So those languages following the what architecture means MVC architecture. Simply, I'm telling here Java. Okay, now we can take Java follows Java following MVC architecture. Java following the MVC architecture. Our Django following the MVT architecture, guys. Small difference is there, can see. MVC Java, MVT our Django. Okay, so sometimes what is the difference between MVT and MVC? People are asking. Okay, na? MVT and MVC. So here only I'm going to write. Here only I'm going to write, guys. Sir, which one is not best? Which framework you are choosing? According to that, you need to select. You need to develop. So if you are choosing the Django, then Django architecture only we need to follow. If you are choosing Java, then Java architecture you need to follow. Okay. Now here, MVC is there, guys. Here also MVC. So now business logics only, database logics only performing by models. In the Java also models are required for maintaining the database logics only. Database logics only. So this is a model, guys. This is model. So using the models, so database logics we are performing, guys. Next here business logics purpose, we are going to use controllers. We are going to use the controllers. This is models. This is models. So controller means nothing but here C. C stands for controllers, guys. C stands for controllers, which is maintaining for business logics. Okay. So next here MVC, nothing but here views. This one, guys. Clear? So Java follows MVC architecture where M stands for models, V stands for views, C stands for controllers. The point. Django follows MVT architecture where M stands for models, V stands for views, and T stands for templates. We are telling us. So in Java and Django, okay, both are, guys. So both are in the models. Models are using for maintaining the database logics. Both are models are using for maintaining the database logics related. But in Django we are using the views to maintaining the business logics. In Django we are using the views to maintaining the business logics of our project. In Java they are using the controllers to maintaining the business logics. They are using the controllers to maintaining the all the business logics, guys. And in Django we are using the templates to maintaining the presentation logics. But in Java they are using the views to maintaining the presentation logics. Okay, na? So these are differences you need to remember, guys, clearly. So in our language templates for presentation logics, but in Java views for presentation logics. This one remember, guys. So these points you are going to give. And one point here, we are not Java developers, guys. Here we are not learning about the Java related. So this architecture not required for us. Architecture related, execution flow related. So if you are choosing the Java course, then the people are learning about this one. Okay. So we are what? We are Django developers. So we are going to discuss about this one architecture. This is only what files are there. Each file is what purpose. One diagram we will discuss execution flow related. Okay, na? So we are going to discuss about the now Django MVT architecture, guys. MVT architecture. Clear, guys? Yes. Now can see here. Just assumption, guys. Just assumption. So here I have one browser. Here I have my browser. So from the browser, we are sending the request, guys, in the form of what URL. So in the form of URL, we are sending the request, guys. Something like here some port number, some IP address. Okay, na? So something. For example, I'm going to take it here some port number like this. So here you are writing the some URL, guys. After port number, so I have one URL. For example, FB URL is there. Means Facebook. Different URLs, guys. Get URL, update URL, delete URL, Gmail URL, like whatever you want. So before port number here, HTTP column 127.0.0, like address is there. Simply URL. So from the browser, we are going to send one request, guys. Then where that request is going means, so we are having one Django project, guys. Here we are having one Django project. This is my Django file. Django project. Django project. In this Django project, guys, in this Django project, we are having different files. So major files we are going to discuss right now. Some major files. Major files. So urls.py is there, guys. urls.py is there. And next views.py is there. Okay. So here views file is there. Views.py is there. Business code related. Next here one templates folder is there, guys. Templates folder to maintaining all HTMLs. Templates folder is there. Okay. So here one models there, guys. Here we have one models file. Models.py. So these all are major files, guys. These all are major files. Okay. So now from the browser, whenever I'm sending the request, guys, whenever I'm sending the request, first our request hitting the Django project. First our request hitting the Django project, guys. Okay. Now from this project, after hitting the project, first hitting the urls.py, guys. So simply from the browser, whenever we are sending the request like a URL, that URL is first hitting the Django urls.py file. Django urls.py file. In this url.py file, n number of URLs we are going to maintaining, guys. N number of URLs. For example, so I'm going to write here the Gmail related URL. So URL comma one view name you are going to write gm view, nothing but Gmail view. So view is nothing but here like a methods, guys. Every action if you want to perform, some methods required. Okay. So same like Python functions. In Python functions, group of lines code we are writing. Whenever we are calling that function, all together executing. Same like here also. Okay. So URL1 comma URL2 comma. So right now I'm going to take here FB URL. So then this is calling the FB view, Facebook view, guys. So same like n number of URLs you can write n number of URLs. For example, another URL is my home URL. Okay. Then home view, like this a number of URLs there, guys. A number of URLs. So first our request is coming to the project level url.py. So one by one checking. So what is our URL there here? FB is there. So up to this port number is common for all the URLs, guys. For Gmail, for Facebook, for home, up to port number is common. Okay. After port number, what is there? After port number, FB is there. So this FB URL, FB request is matching with this one or not checking, not matching. So this is FB, this is GM, not matching. then again next URL checking guys. Okay, here matching. If it is not matching, again one more URL checking. Here also not matching means URL not finding, like some errors, resource not finding, like some error written to the browser. Okay, okay, from top to bottom guys, top to bottom one by one checking. So here our requested URL is matching. Our requested URL is matching guys. So if any URL is matching, any URL is matching, then correspondent view is going to be executed guys. Correspondent view is going to be executed. So every URL is having one view. Which URL is matching, that view is going to be executed. Clear, Ishpan? So we are writing the n number of URLs for our project. Every URL is having one view. So all views inside the views.py we are writing guys. Inside the views.py we are writing. So in the Python functions, by using the def keyword we are writing guys like this. Later I will tell how creating views more clearly. This is just architecture. Okay, na? So def gm view, def gm view. So like something you are going to write. So now here some logics you are going to write guys. Gmail view related some logics you are writing. Coding whatever the lines you want to execute, those all things you are writing here. Same like one more view, def fb view, fb view. Okay na? So now again here Facebook related some more lines code you are going to write, execution lines. Okay, so whenever this view is hitting after matching the URL, particular view is calling as then our cursor first jumping to the views.py top side guys. First jumping to the views.py. So with this name checking guys. With this name, any view is there or not checking here, not there, not matching. Again coming to second one, checking, not matching. Again third one, not matching. Like no view is matching means immediately one error written back. Okay, so resource not finding, requested view is not matching, like that something. Okay, one exception coming simply guys. Okay, if any view is matching guys, here my view is matching, here my view is matching guys. If any view is matching, then that view related all the logics going to be executed. So view is nothing but like a Python function guys, which is taking the request and processing that request, generating the response. Clear guys, this one? Okay, so now finally you can see here our view sometimes interacted with models guys, to managing the database. Sometimes our view interacted with models to managing the database. So here can see my database is there, MySQL related, record 1, record 2, record 3, like some data is there, something is there. So via the models only, we are interacted always with the database guys. Our programming related database, our application related database, always via the model, we are going to be communicated. This is the request, this is the response. Okay, na? So our view interacted with models guys, sometimes interacted with models to managing the database and getting the response back, getting the response back. Clear this flow? How we interacted, these all things later development wise we will do it. Just to flow remember. Next our view interacted with the templates guys. Our view interacted with the templates. So here I have what is the gm.html, gmail related HTML, fb.html, Facebook related HTML, like this a number of HTMLs there guys. So our view interacted with the templates folder to executing the particular HTML, to execute the particular HTML, and our template giving a response back to the view guys. Response back to the view. Okay, so finally our view generating the response guys. Finally our view generating the response. So this response, so our view returns to the browser. So simply whenever from the browser we are sending the request, we are getting the response. Guys, don't worry, don't get confusing. So a lot of terms we are going to discuss like this, easily will understanding. I will tell wait one more time. Okay, so next guys, sometimes here our view sometimes interacted with another view. From one view to another view, we are going to be communicating guys to exchange the information, to exchange the information, to transfer the response or request, like whatever you want guys. Okay, so this is the flow guys. Okay, here sometimes our view interacted with the templates, so our template directly giving response to browser. Every HTML is displaying some output the browser guys. So different variations there guys, response variations. Yeah, so now can see guys finally. So I'm developing one Django project guys. I developed one Django project with all required files with required logics. Now I run the server. I run the server. So from the browser, whenever we are sending the request guys, whenever we are sending the request, so up to port number is common for all the URLs guys. So whenever we are sending the request, our request first reaching the Django project related URLs.py. In this URLs, top to bottom requested URL is matching or not checking. If no URL is matching, it returns one exception, resource not finding, like that. 404. If any URL is matching guys, if any URL is matching for requested URL, then corresponding to view is going to be executed. Corresponding view is going to be executed. All views we are writing inside views. So our cursor jumping to the views guys. Cursor is jumping into the views file. From top to bottom, checking for requested view with this name, view is there or not checking guys. If any view is matching or not matching, this is the point. If not matching, then returns exception. If matching any view, then executed that view related logics. Means our cursor going inside this view, inside the view, and executing these all logics. Clear guys? So our view only doing all business logics guys. I told inside views we are writing business logics. What business you want to do here? I want to get all data from the database. I want to delete data, like something you have requirement. So our view sometimes interacted with models to managing the database, to managing the database. Our view sometimes interacted with the templates to managing the presentation guys, to managing the presentation code. Our view interacted with other views to exchanging the information, to exchanging the information. And our view always connected with URLs to executing particular view. So views always using the URL only executing guys. That's why URL and view communication always required. Communication always required. Okay, so whenever our view interacted with a particular template guys, this template response directly we can give to the browser. That is the one point. Otherwise after executing this template response, we can send it to again view. Now our view sending response back to the browser. Clear guys? Variations, variations. So next our view connected to other view, and this view directly return to the browser, like all number of variations there guys. So here regularly we are going to use some methods. So view to browser, view to browser, if you want to send the response guys, then we are going to use here I'm writing guys because of space not there. So we are going to use http response, http response method. So here you are writing some response, whatever you want to return. So view to browser, if you want to send the response, then we are going to use http response method. Coming days regularly we are going to use this one. Okay, now view to templates guys. View to templates, if you want to communicating to do the presentation related coding, then we are going to use the render method. Render method, what is this one? View to the template purpose. Okay, and view to the browser purpose guys. View to the browser communicating purpose, http response method we are using. And next here, one view to another view, one view to another view, if you want to do it communication guys, then here redirect. From one view to another view we are going to be redirecting. Okay, we are going to be redirecting. This is the redirect method guys we are using. And next view to models, view to models, if you want to do communication, ORM structure is there. Later I will tell about the ORM. The ORM queries there, and number of ORM queries there guys. If you want to get all methods, all records from the database one method, only one record if you want to get another method, only these two records another method, like a condition based n number of methods there, filter methods. So we will discuss about the ORM query separately. Let's clear this one, all of you. MVT architecture. So all URLs inside URL file we are writing, all business code logics inside views we are writing, database logics inside models we are writing, presentation logic inside templates we are writing. These four files are major files, guys. Okay. So from the browser, after sending the request, first hitting the URL file and searching for required URL is there or not. If any URL is matching, corresponding to view executing. So then views available inside views, going to there, top to bottom check-in, and if any view is matching, corresponding logic is going to be executed. That view related logic executing. Our view sometimes directly giving response back to the browser using the HTTP response method. View communicating to model to managing the database. To managing the database using the ORM queries, view communicating to templates to managing the presentation by using the render method, view communicating to another view to redirecting the information using the redirect method. Okay, view always interacted with the URLs to mapping between them. This is the MVT architecture, guys. MVT architecture. Guys, understanding all of you? I will share these diagrams, all the things, and some days only we are discussing with the models, guys, while developing our coding. Only model with the database. So model to database, how interconnected, what third-party modules required for database communication, and how creating tables using the models. These all things we are discussing some days. And some days URLs with views, guys. One URL we are writing, that URL is calling one view, and that view return output to browser directly using the HTTP response method. Okay, so URL to views, some days we are going to do discussion. Later URL view and model, these three combination we are going to do some days. These three combination, guys. Okay, na? So after that some days only templates presentation we are going to discuss. Okay, so templates related you are discussing means the templates directly not executing. So you are sending URL calling one view, view calling the template, and template giving the response back. Template giving response back means this flow you are going to do, guys. This flow you are going to do. Clear this one? So like this, separately we will do it, and finally all together we are developing more big coding. Okay. So I hope you all people understanding about this architecture, guys. Yeah. So that's it, guys, for this day, and we'll meet the tomorrow. So tomorrow some more other files there. Django project containing 4 files, application containing 6 files, one folder. So about those all things, one word answers all I will give you clearly. Okay, each file is what purpose, like that, and then in the tomorrow session directly development we are going to be starting. So far you know project, how creating, application how creating. So in the next class, how we are going to developing the coding. Just created right now. After creating, we need to open the file, we need to create the code, and after that we need to execute the servers, or else we need to create the tables, like that. One by one we will discuss, guys. Okay, na? So ORM stands for object relational mapping. That is a database concept, guys. So using our Django, how we are interacted with the database, that is concept ORM. Okay, so we are not writing the SQL queries. For example, if you want to get all data from the SQL database, MySQL, select star from table name you are writing as. Okay, one word answer I am giving you here, can see here. So MySQL, if you want to connect, guys, then what you are writing here, select star from table name. For example, my table name is employee. This is your writing. This is your writing. So if you want create MongoDB related query, guys, db dot your collection name dot collection means table, collection name dot find method of dictionary format, like this you are writing, guys, to get the all records, okay. So now here I have MySQL related database, and I have here MongoDB. Yes, yes. So this query is connected with MySQL and getting the data back Okay, and this query is connected to MongoDB and getting the data back. Database to database, query is changing, guys. We need to have the knowledge. Okay, so but if you are using Python, guys, Python with MySQL means you need to write like this query to get the data. Python with MongoDB, you need to write query like this to get the data. But right now we are using what? Django framework. So Django framework means ORM queries there. So using the Django, for example, right now you don't know, guys, just assumption. You don't know, just assumption. So I'm going to use here employee dot objects dot all method. Okay. So this is you are going to write Django ORM query. This one. This is Django ORM query. So this Django ORM query, if you are using the MySQL database, guys, then this format converting in your project MySQL, if you are using this query converted into this format, then we are getting communicated into MySQL, getting data back. If you are using the MongoDB, guys, in your program, same query we are writing. We are not writing new query, but this query is converted into like this way. Then this is communicated to MongoDB. Means so we are not writing the database related specific queries, guys. These all are database related specific queries. We are not writing these queries. We are not writing these queries in our Django. We are writing our ORM queries. This thing we are calling ORM. Okay, Django ORM queries, guys. Django ORM queries are converted into specific database format. Specific database format to get the data. So this is the one of the best advantage using the Django framework. Clear? So in Python, you are going to focus to learn these all queries, guys. So right now you are learning with MySQL, all MySQL queries you are learning. So suddenly after 1 month, they are telling to use MongoDB. Then in all your code, guys, you are writing Python code. Wherever you are writing this SQL queries, MySQL related, all queries you need to remove and you need to change like this. Those all queries. But if you are using the Django, so we are not writing these queries. Simply we are writing this query. So this is common to all the databases. So no need to change the queries. Simply database settings. What is my database, MySQL or Mongo? Like some settings we are giving. One time only settings we are going to change it. Enough. Okay, now so lot of ORM queries there, guys. Slowly later we are going to discuss. So don't worry. Which database means, guys, one point remember, generally as a student point of view, so Java side people, the people who are learning Java course, those people are doing practice with Oracle. The people who are learning .NET, those people are doing practice with SQL Server. The people who are learning Python related, they are doing practice with MySQL. Okay, so here also we are going to do with MySQL and MongoDB also. I will tell, guys. Why means nowadays whenever people are attending the interviews, lot of times people are asking about the MongoDB. That's why I will introduce about the MongoDB also. Okay, not only introduce, we will do a lot of applications also in the MongoDB. How we installing, after installing, what real-time tools there MongoDB related, how we are creating tables, deleting, all things I'll take care. Okay, yes, guys. So thank you, guys. If you have any queries, you can ask again. Guys, I'm telling as soon as possible you need to do registration, guys. Already 4-5 sessions completing, so definitely they are going to change the link maybe tomorrow. Okay, so after link changing, I'm not responsible. The people who are communicated, who are registered, I will continue batch with those guys. Okay, thank you, guys.